Yeah.
Any idea on any sort of favorite character yet? Or one that you're thinking you might become a favorite of yours?
I already really like Gil. I mean, it's weird because I normally don't really like the emo, gothic, the world hates me and that's why I'm emo type characters. But I think that bothered to put some reason for him to be like that. That or Oz.
To me, Gil isn't actually emo. Once you see his past, you kind of understand why he is the way he is and why he was so upset when Oz was taken to the abyss. Plus, a bunch of other complicated things from his past make up for the way he acts later on.
No, I know he isn't emo, and I'm guessing that they actually bothered to explain. But people like Sasuke, who's like, I'm emo because my entire family was killed, and I couldn't do anything about it even though I was 5!
But overall, he's not actually emo. He doesn't be like, oh, the world hates me and whatnot. It just, he actually has a reason to be sad for this, but just like any other normal person. Well, I guess in the sense that he's a little bit like that, but not to the point where he's emo. Like, when Oz was taken into the abyss, Gil was upset that he couldn't do anything, but that's only natural for someone who's a servant of that person. But technically, he wasn't actually emo because of it. And plus, even though, like Sasuke and that he was determined to fix it and all that, Sasuke was emo for revenge. Gil, he actually tries to bring the guy back, so if you ask me, that's not really emo at all.
No, but Sasuke, it doesn't forgive the fact that Sasuke acts like an emo git. I mean, if my family was killed and I was 5, I would obviously think, oh man, this is horrible, and I wish I could do something about it, but Sasuke takes it personally. And that's my problem with him. And not only that, he has this odd sense of everybody around me hates me because I'm me. And all the girls like him for some reason, which really pisses me off.
I guess in a sense, too, I think in some times, too, Gil, he does kind of take it upon himself, but I think that's only natural because he's Oz's servant, and he feels completely loyal to him. Not to mention the fact that Oz is sort of like the one who saved Gil in a sense, so it's only understandable, so I don't consider him being emo for taking it upon himself there. As for the rest of the stuff you just said, yeah, Gil's not like that, therefore he's not emo. Oh, wait, correction. Episode 18 and all that, Gil, when they're infiltrating the school, Gil gets fangirls.
But really, he is emo because he dresses like that. Or he's a Weemo, or a wannabe emo, or whatever they call those people. Which is good, and he definitely isn't as bad as Sasuke, but that doesn't make up for the fact that he's emo. And mean. And that's why he had fangirls. I hate to admit that too. It's so horrible.
How the heck does he dress emo? Is it just because he likes the color black? Actually, it's revealed in episode, well, not the episode, but in the manga chapter for when they infiltrate the school, it's revealed that he actually hates the color white, that's why he wears black. Oh, wait, are you talking about Gil or Sasuke? Which one?
Never mind! And I was talking about Gil, but more importantly, they both kind of do dress emo.
But yeah, actually, Gil's my favorite. Oz, he's tied for third along with, Break. Although Break's getting pretty damn close to bypassing Oz. Alice is also tied in for third. Those three sort of go up and down depending on what's happening. But my top two are definitely Gil and Jack, who is currently the character in my pick. Put it bluntly, he's like older version of what Oz would be like if he were actually 25.
I know that already, or at least about Jack, and Oz is my second favorite character because he's so awesome! He's, like, dripping testosterone. I don't know why, I just really like. Maybe it's because he isn't an emo main character, like you're seeing in all of these new animes, eh? Have you ever noticed that, how there's like 1 billion, emo people during these anime?
Yes, I have, but to me, Oz's personality is an awful lot like Fi's from Tsubasa. In reality, he actually is, like, really, 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 really sad inside, but then puts on the happy facade. So Oz seems happy, but really deep down, he's, like, being tortured inside. And it's not really till he meets Alice and then begins to meet some of the other people that he begins to open up a bit more and whatnot and be more honest about it.
Yes, but he isn't an emo main character with no backstory. It makes sense why he would feel depressed. He's jumped 10 years of he's missed 10 years of his life by jumping into the future, and he could die at any time thanks to that weird clock thing. Or eventually, because it will start ticking down. You know what I mean?
True. Like, with all these other people who have very similar personalities to Oz, most of the time they won't have a story behind it. However, in cases like Oz or Fi, there is an actual reason for it. So, thank God. I find that I don't mind a character being, like, all emo so long as there's an actual story behind it. If there isn't a plausible story, then it'd be like, ugh, for Pete's sake, this person annoys me.
Yeah, like that one guy from whatever it's called. It was like, oh yeah, Gundam Seed. There's a very similar guy like that in that story, and it does try to explain it a little bit, but it's...
You mean Kira? Actually, I think if you watch all of it, like all of Gundam Seed and all of Destiny and that, yeah, like, there is a story behind it, but it's not as good as some of the others that you can find. Actually, people didn't really have much of a problem with Kira being sort of, like, almost emo-like. They seem to have a problem more with him crying a lot. I was like, what's wrong with crying? Big whoop! We don't even get enough anime characters that cry anymore.
The guy from Neon Genesis Evangelion does enough crying for everybody in anime. A giant robot, I don't wanna fly it. Shut up, you dumb fuck. I hated that guy so much. The main character of Neon Genesis Evangelion.
You know something I've also noticed? I noticed a lot of people seem to consider characters who are extremely loyal to another one. They often consider them to be emo. And I don't know why. So what? If they're loyal, there's nothing wrong with that. Like with Gil, I think the only time he would even be a little bit emo was when Oz was gone. But in a way that's understandable because of how loyal and how much Oz and his family have done for Gil, that he would feel sad when Oz was gone. So, he's not even really emo at all, period. End of story. He's just really, really loyal. So he gets upset easily from when something bad happens to the person he's loyal to.
Yeah, but, like, again, that involves backstory. Like, for instance, like, if my entire family were to die, I would probably go a little emo because my entire family died. And it isn't me just trying to be cool, like it is with a lot of anime characters nowadays.
Yeah, but you don't know, like, you don't even know Gil's full backstory yet. I do, so I actually don't consider him emo at all. And it's understandable, too, why he feels so protective of Oz, especially when you see his backstory.
Exactly. Like, Gilbert is a little emo just because he's always been a little emo. That doesn't need to be explained, but I really hate those, like, characters who are like, oh, life sucks because, my family was, killed. Yes, that's it. That's a perfect backstory, even though it doesn't make any sense. Why would he become emo if his entire family was killed? Everybody would become a little emo, but they would eventually learn to get over it. Like, what did... No, never mind. I'm just ranting.
To put it basically in that you don't mind an emo person, and sometimes, half the time, you don't even consider them emo so long as they have a decent backstory. However, if they start acting emo just because and there's no real reason, then yeah.
Like Light from Death Note. But then again, everybody's emo in that series, so it doesn't matter.
I don't even think Light's emo, period. I think he's more obsessive like, extremely obsessive, but he's certainly not emo, I don't think. The funny thing is, I'm criticizing these characters, and yet they're all my favorites from the series. How does that make sense?
And I don't know how that makes sense. I guess I just hate the characters you like. Except for Gil and Light. I still hate Sasuke. He's a git.